Murder Burger.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to this week's episode of Murder Burger. I'm Rick,
And I'm Landon.
and I'll be talking about Dick and Perry's death.
And I'll be talking about the mental health aspects of the murders.
The death of Dick and Perry is prolonged for 6 years after their capture, in which they get denied a retrial again and again. When it is finally time for Dick and Perry to be hanged, what can we learn from their last moments alive? Dick is the first one to be brought into the warehouse to be hanged. He's calm, collected, and even shakes the hands of the people who helped capture him. All negative thoughts were removed from his mind, and he held his composure in the minutes leading up to his death. One of the agents noted how Dick had the guts to die, and how he didn't act as the coward he was thought to be. Perry then entered the warehouse after Dick's body was taken away. The composure he held was more nervous than that of Dick. Perry's last words were a resigning plea against capital punishment, and his assertive tone quickly fled his voice as he realized the futility of his words. Detective Dewey couldn't help feel as if Perry were like a wounded animal, seeing his child-sized feet dangle as he hung from the noose. The sense of relief that Dewey expected from Perry's death was nowhere to be found.
And the way in which Capote describes this event is interesting. The notion of Perry as an exiled animal ties into the relationship of Dick and Perry, in which Perry is almost an animal who has a dependence for Dick. Dick is the one with the brains, the A-type personality of the two. But on the night of the murders, he has Perry kill the two men in the house. Dick seems to use Perry as a scapegoat as well as to do his dirty work. When confessing to the murder, he tells the detectives that he couldn't stop Perry from killing all four Clutters. Later, Perry thinks of helping Dick escape together, while Dick only schemes to free himself. Even the hyperbolized description of Perry having abnormal proportions and childlike feet, as well as his rough childhood, both satisfy this description of Perry as a creature walking wounded.
During the trial, one witness was a psychologist. His role was to determine Perry and Dick's mental health and stability. This is one aspect of murder that has changed since early times. Earlier on, people believed crimes were a direct result of some sin or religious factor. Now the mental health aspect is becoming more apparent. If someone commits a crime, they are examined to tell if they can tell right from wrong. This is exactly what the psychologist is called to do. Interestingly, all the psychologist is permitted to say is whether or not the suspects could tell right from wrong at the time of the murder. Before he can say anything else, the judge does not allow it. I think it was a smart move by Capote to include this, because in a way, it leaves the decision up to the reader.
And this is another thing that makes the book so great. Capote follows the stories of the murderers, which allows the reader to gain an understanding for them and their stories. We feel especially sympathetic for Perry because of the difficulties he went through as a child. After the trial is over and they both receive the death penalty, it leaves room for discussion whether or not the death penalty is the right punishment. Personally, this book is one of my favorites because of the relationships we can almost form with the characters, and the story is much more personal than Devil in the White City.
Alright guys, thanks for watching.
And make sure to tune in next time for our discussion of Green River Killer.
See you.